It's Runescapefar. How you guys doing today? It's currently 9:51 a.m. and I thought today let's do something with Maya because this isn't my actual homework assignment that's due tomorrow. So I got a lot of stuff to do for it. So that's why we I have a little food in my mouth, so I'm trying to talk and chew. That's what I'm going to be focusing on mostly today. And I thought, you know what? Why not make a YouTube video out of it? So this is an actual homework assignment for my college level Maya and 3D animation class. So you see here we got some rigs in here. Now I can do a separate video on rigs later on, but if we hit the play button here, let's see. Don't know why that guy's, oh yeah, I forgot I had him set lower. So as you can see here, I got that one doing a torso twist, and that one is doing sit-ups. Now if we go in, we can actually look at it closer. So you can see there, you get the elasticity of it moving. When he moves, the body moves with it and stretches. Elastic and stretch. So we also got movement. So when he comes up, he does this. As you can see there, his elbows bend and move, just like you would if you were doing a normal sit-up. And if we again go look at the guy doing the torso twist, I forget what frame rate I had him set up for. So I guess just the first 40, because for the second one I think it was just 40. For him I went a little bit over the edge. But so for him he'll do the torso twist here at 40 seconds. So as you see there, when he moves, the body moves and adjusts with him just like an actual person would. And I think I do have this playback speed as, we need to frame that as real time. There we go. It's got more life to it. So I kind of did want to do this more than 40 frames, but for this one I had to do frame by frame, because if we actually go look at the his frame rates here, I think it's this one maybe. Let's see. Okay, can't. Oh, that's one. Have faces selected. So let's see. So if you see right here, it goes from 1 to 40. I have it set for every single frame per second. So if we actually stretch this out more, you would see all the frame rates. So at 1, 2, 3, all the way up till 40, I have it frame by frame. That type of animation takes forever to do, and it did take me a while to do this. So I'm very proud of how it turned out. I tried doing the cheat method, which is put 1 at 1, 1 at 5, 1 at 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so forth. But when I did that, it glitched out real bad. It looked like he had a spaz attack or something. It just didn't look human whatsoever. It was real jerky. So, and I tried doing it multiple different ways, but doing the same method, but instead doing it frame by frame, it seemed to fix the problem. So, also we are, for the project, I'm in a gym environment, so we of course have our, little poster here I gotta make more of, because I need more stuff in here. We're also going to add a flooring design in here. I did look up a floor design that's typically used in gyms. And even though this looks like a white wall, which pretty much it is, if we go to our camera view here, which in order to get to there, how I did that was I hit space and then go to your panels, go to perspective, and then of course this is, for me, is camera 3. So let's bring that up here. Let's click this little IPR button here, and it will render this out for me. And then you will see what it looks like rendered out when it takes its sweet time. It actually is going faster in here now that I have my graphics card. And sadly it still is really grainy, which is nothing I can't fix right now. But we'll eventually be talking about it later on. So just, as you can see right there, that package is a mirror. And I actually tried doing the very complicated way that the book tells me that I purchased separately, because the class did not come with the book. And it just confused the hell out of me. I asked the teacher, he says, okay, we'll make it a blend 8, and change, I think it was the reflectivity and the color of the item, and it just made an instant mirror. And then I probably will have to add a roofing to it, just for the fact that you can see right here the gap of it, which we don't really want. So I could try to offset the camera some, so that way it doesn't show it. There's a lot I could do to fix that, but I think I'm just going to add a roof and add some lights on there so I can get more detail in there like he wants. But that also, again, will also require me to adjust the camera. So let's just kind of go up a tad bit. And let's see if I can move out any bit further. Perfect. Because as you can see right here, the camera is literally sticking in the wall itself. Now I had to play with the resolution and everything on that. So if we click on that and then go to the attributes of the camera, as you see, the angle view is 124.95, phone click of 19.676. I mixed with the film back, the depth of field I turned on, adjusted that, so that did actually help clear up a lot of the grain, because this was horribly grainy beforehand, and now it's slightly better-ish, if you want to call it that. So, let's see, so right now, what I'm going to do is we're going to add another poster here, and then we're going to add a floor using the same method. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. You can duplicate it by hitting Control D, and let's move this bad boy over here. Now then, I already have this pretty much set out, so what we're going to do is just make it a new Lambert. You want to use Lambert because Lambert's not shiny. Blend is shiny and does have a reflective surface. So we're going to click on the checker flag here. We're going to go to File, save it like that. Now then, what you want to typically do for this, from starting from scratch, is go to your UV editor here, bring that up, and then you can see right here, this is what this image looks like when you cut it and slice it. But the problem is, where do I put the image at when I do this method? Well, here's a simple solution. What you want to do is go to your cursor here, go to your modeling toolkit, click on the faces, select the face you want, reopen your UV editor, and there you go. Now that part is highlighted. So you know when you bring this to the next step, which I'm going to do here shortly, you'll see that it will look like this. Just minus the orangeness. And then what you also want to do is, first let's go back to selecting the whole object, go back to UV elevator, or editor. You want to click on this little camera, save it to your file. I always save it as a PNG, you can save it as a JPEG, a TIFF, whichever you want. And then when it opens up, it will, let's see, we could just use the floor one as an example. It's basically the same thing, just in a different position. Okay, that one got messed up. So we'll have to redo the floor, which won't be too hard. So actually I can just show you that right now. So let's go ahead and click on the floor here, make sure we have it selected by hitting the, make sure it's green. And then we're just going to again go to our UV editor. We're going to click on the camera, save it as floor, and we're going to overwrite the previous file. You can see what happened was I just had that single face selected, and when you do a screenshot of that's, sorry about that, when you do a specific screenshot of that specific face, that's the only thing that will show up when you screenshot it. So now if we go look at it, don't know why I just exited out of that, hang on a second, let's go to Windows C, nope, I need Toshiba Drive. We're going to go to Maya Project 3, and then that should be the new one. So as you see, that's what it will look like when we bring it up in Photoshop, which brings us to Photoshop. So let's go ahead and open that up. So here's the poster we're going to use. Now I don't like all this white, having this white here. So we're going to take the magic eraser and just kind of get rid of that outer border, which is now perfect. So now let's open up the, let's see, we want this one for the poster, so we'll click right there. Now then, wait a second. Since I saved it as a PNG, it saves with no background, so how can I see this? Well, here is a very simple fix for this. Just create a new layer by clicking this button here, drag layer 1 down here, take our paint bucket, and make sure you have it select black, and there you go. Problem solved, no hassle. You can even go to the extra length of clicking these two and merging them. So we want to go to merge layers, and there we go. Now it's just one whole layer. You don't have to do that for this to work, but it's just the way I usually do it. So this is going to be our poster, so let's go ahead and drag out work poster 3 and drag that bad boy over there. Now then, So what we want to do here is make it a object file. So we're going to go to Layer and create a smart object. Now this will allow us to stretch it without destroying the pixels inside of it, since this is saved as a .jpeg. So let's hit Control T. That's a quick way to get to the adjustment layer. If not, you can just go to Image, Adjust, and it'll adjust it for you. But since I already have it up, that's why it's gray. So I'm going to hold down Shift, and we're going to stretch this bad boy out. Now we're going to have to readjust the block itself because this is very small. It'll kind of disorient or distort the text, which we really don't want. So right there's perfect. Just click here, or you can click the check mark and hit place. There we go. That's perfectly done. So now we're going to go to File, Save As. Always save the Photoshop. So this is poster 3. Because if you need to go back and edit it, any edits you make, you can just go there without having to redo all the steps. So always save it as a PSD first. And now we're going to save it as a PNG, which I personally like. So let's save it as a PNG. So we'll go to PNG. And we're going to rename this because this is also saved as a PNG. We don't want that. And it's just more organized. So we're going to go Workout dash poster dash 3, which again, that's just the format I like doing it. You can do it however you want. And then now if we go back to the Maya software, now since we created this as a blend, all we gotta do is come back to the attributes, go to Lambert 40. Let's go here, we're going to click on the file, and we're going to look for poster 3, which as you see, you got poster 1 JPEG, and then you got the PNG version. That's why I like kind of doing it like that. So let's open up the poster 3 PNG, and there you go. And that's actually not too badly distorted like I thought it would be. But nonetheless, let's try to edit it a little bit, make it, yeah, that could work. So since this is like gym rules and everything, we're just going to make a couple of these. So we're going to duplicate one here, and then let's adjust the camera here so we can see the red. We'll pull it towards this wall as well. Get selected again. Okay, this is very hard because right now I got lights turned off. So let's turn the lights on. So we're going to push it against the wall here. We're going to try to rotate it perfectly because we want it flat on there, because typically posters are. And this is just playing with slight motion of moving it. So I think that's on there pretty straight. It is pretty flush up against there. A way you can check is always do that. If you see one side sticking out further than the other, like there, you can see we get that little triangle piece there. So it's not perfectly straight with itself, because that line should be even like that. Both narrow, and one end's not larger than going down to a narrow end. So now let's see how that looks on the camera. So let's go ahead and re-render this out. So let's start doing that. And that's actually starting to look a lot better. And again, I am going to put in a roof there with some light fixtures and make them actually have lights on them. So I think I could try to get to that today, hopefully. Let's see. So yeah, everything's actually looking very good once all this renders out. I forget what render settings I have this set on. I gotta go back and readjust it for a better render when I actually physically render this out, because I don't want to put too much strain on my graphics card. But if you look right there, that's perfect for that, because you can see that's visible, we get that there. I'm going to maybe add some wall decorations, maybe a little door to put in somewhere. But that's more in detail, and I don't think I'll cover that in the video. But I definitely may show the final project once I've finished everything. So let's go make sure we get out of camera mode, because I want the camera to be in that position, so I don't want to take a chance of moving it around and screwing things up. Now the only problem I have here is these are actually supposed to be like a very dark black. as you can see right there. So I may actually take that and make those a Lambert instead of a Blinn, because usually those types of weights, they do kind of have a glisten to them, but they're mostly a Lambert. They're dull, they're not really shiny. Some are, some aren't. So I may have to make that a Lambert for the black to show up all the way. I should have asked my teacher about that yesterday, but totally slipped in my mind. Other than that, I think this is actually coming along very well. So now let's go ahead and make the floor. So now with the floor, let's again do the same trick we did, because this is not in the same spot as were the poster. So if we bring up the UV editor again here, just simply click that. Then as you can see here, it's no longer here. We're now here. So when we go place the flooring design in there, we need to place it in this one. So it's 1 up from the bottom or 3 down from the top. So we already got that one saved, so let's exit out of that mode there. I believe I did already save this as a Lambert. Let's go to attribute settings. Yes, I did. I renamed this one floor just because Lambert 35, 36 gets a little confusing after a while. So let's go ahead and reopen up Photoshop here. Let's open up the floor one. So we will need the gym floor style here and the floor PNG. So let's open those up. Exit out of that. So as you can see here, again, we got that that crystal clear layer with the very thin white lines. We definitely don't want that because it makes it very hard to actually see. It actually strains your eyes. So let's go ahead and add a new layer. And again, we're just going to make it black, and then we're just going to hold Control, click both layers, and merge them. And there you go. Perfect. Now you can actually go ahead and just save this as your default for like any floors you do, or it's up to you how you want to do that. So now let's again bring over the gym floor. So we're just going to drag that over there. That's actually already pretty decent size. So remember, we need to be 1 up here or 3 down from here. Let's go ahead and kind of center that as much as we can. Go to our layer. We're going to go to Smart Object and again convert it to a Smart Object, so that way when we stretch it to fit, it won't pixelate or distort it in any way. And again, instead of hitting Control T, you could just come out here, go to Image, Adjustment, or it wouldn't be Adjustment, it would be Image Size. Or hold on, they've changed things up here. We don't want Image Rotation. It used to be just like right here, but I don't see it anymore. So they must have moved it with the new update. Because I've been using Windows 5 and they always do this. So, okay, it's now under Edit. So go to Edit, Transform, and then we're going to go to Scale. Again, you can just hit Control T, which I just do. It's a lot easier. Hold down the Shift button. And let's just adjust it to the length we want. Perfect. Again, you can hit any button here or just hit the check mark. And there we go. So, like I always say, let's save it as the PSD first. You always want to have the saved PSDs, especially from my professor, because I think he wants all that in with it. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. Don't assume anything, especially with these teachers. They say one thing, and you think it's very straight and blunt, but in reality, there's a bunch of holes in it, so you definitely want to make sure you overthink things like this, because they can save your butt. And sometimes, like me, you overthink things too much, and you actually get extra credit for it. So we don't want this to call be floor again, so we're going to do floor dash layout dash 1. Okay, that's perfect. So let's bring up Maya again, and let's make sure we have our floor selected. We're going to go to the little checker flag here. Again, go to File, click on the folder. We want floor layout 1 PNG. So that's perfect like that. And there we go. That actually looks pretty good. Now if I want to do something more sophisticated, I could actually enlarge the image in Photoshop and do 4x4 squares, actually place those into the image itself and then redo everything, and it should show up there, but I'm not going to get into that detail of it. So again, let's go check out the render file here. Everything's looking amazing on the camera here. So if you're wondering what this is actually the perspective border. So this is a 960 by 640 frame. So everything you see right here will be in the render. So let's again go ahead and click on the IPR here and re-render out the current frame. And just see how everything looks. And so far everything actually looks really good. Let's see, still rendering a little bit there. Oh yeah, I mean the flooring looks good with it. I got the posts there. I may actually put a metal look on those, on the weights and everything, so that way they kind of look more, I guess, realistic than what they currently look. So that one will be fun playing because I've never done a circle before, so who knows. But I think that could add another type of realism to this. And then again, we'll add wall texture. I'll look up a simple wall texture like, I don't know, I could do brick, or I could do drywall with plaster sprayed onto it, or mud sprayed on to give it that rough texture look. But then again, I think the pixelation kind of does that already. So, I mean, there's just so much opportunities I can do with here. I can even change this color of this, or add pictures to this to make it look more realistic. Crap, see? That's why I hate doing this with the camera perspective and having it in there for too long, because I keep on forgetting I'm in the camera perspective. Let's see, I think I'm actually off-centered here a little. Let's see. Maybe go down, nope. Okay, I guess that's the perfect view right there. I guess that will work out pretty fine. I mean, I got that there. I can actually move that maybe a little bit further so that way it's all in frame. Or what I actually could do is just delete the backing of the wall, but I already made it one solid wall, so I have to remake all the walls again, which I really don't want to do. And typically, usually when you have a camera there, you could leave like the backing of the wall out, so long as you're not going to show like the camera doing a 360 and it will be there. If you do a 360 camera, then you do need a wall there, no matter how annoying it is. So let's go back to here. So I probably actually, what I could do is actually delete the faces, which my professor does frown upon. But let's just see how that looks. So let's go ahead and save what we currently did. So that way I can resort back to that in case I F up big time, which I've had done in the past. And forgot to save, so I had to redo everything. So let's click on the wall here. And see, we've got the wall selected there. Let's delete the framing there. A little bit of the framing left. Let's try to delete that. And now let's go back to our camera view here. So let's try to zoom out now, because now that we can a little. Okay, that actually looks a little bit better. I mean, like I said, my teacher does really frown upon that, so make sure you know what your teacher frowns upon. Because sometimes he may say, oh, okay, it's frowned upon, no, you can't do it, or, well, I normally frown upon it, but, you know what, you pulled it off so well, I think I'm going to allow it. Yeah, know your professor and which person he is. Is he person A that says nope, or person B that, you made it work, so I'll accept it. I think my professor is pretty much B, because he does accept a lot of things I do with this, because I do a lot of things that aren't exactly 100% what it's supposed to be, but I make it work. So let's go back here. I actually think this guy is, yeah, this guy is actually floating in mid-air. I did not notice that before. So let's get him into position here. I've still got faces selected. Let that be a note when you're in dealing with poly models and everything. You cannot be in selection mode. So let's just kind of bring him up here just a tad bit. So that way he is not in the air, which is perfect. Let's make sure this guy is touching the floor mat, which, okay, he's touching it a little bit too much. Now, his controls I can no longer see. So how I'm going to fix this is I'm going to click this button here. We're going to go to the wireframe. Now I can click that, exit out of the wireframe, and slowly bring it up until his feet are within appropriate portions. So let's make sure we're perfectly level with that. Perfect. This small little gym is actually starting to come along pretty good. I can even adjust the mirror here to actually go higher. So let's actually make that the full length of the wall here. Need to go up a tad bit more. Wish this was more like Photoshop, where if I just select on the end, I could just make one end get larger and the other end get smaller, but sadly I can't. Okay, then the roof will just go on there. I'll create some light fixtures using the cone feature. I'll make the cone go inside of itself and make the tip a little bit wider, or maybe put in a cylinder in there small enough so that way it can look like a hanging light. Or there's a lot I could do with that. So I think I'll actually end the video here. I did cover a lot of cool things you could do here in Maya. And like I said, this is actually my homework assignment, so this is what you could possibly expect as an assignment to do for a 3D Maya editing class if you should ever have to take one in college. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see me do more stuff with Maya, go into more detail with some of the stuff I just described, as well as editing with the models right there, the rigs, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely do that. And as always, please subscribe, leave comments, and have a nice day. Live, love, and game on.